This morning, a special Indian Air Force flight carried Dr. Kalam's mortal remains to Rameshwaram, the place from where he had made the journey to Raisina Hill in New Delhi. And the last rites will take place in Rameshwaram tomorrow at a place which is now being prepared by the Tamil Nadu government. Let me now cut across live to Rameshwaram. For the latest, joining me is my colleague Shisha Reddy, who has been reporting on all that is happening in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. Shisha, bring us up to speed as to what is really happening right now there. What time is the final rites to take place in Rameshwaram tomorrow?
Sudhi, the final rites will take place tomorrow around 10:30, 11 o'clock after the Prime Minister arrives, and there will be a funeral procession from the House of Kalam, that is the ancestral house of the former president, and that will be taken to a place which is near the ground. This is an open ground where the mortal remains of APJ Abdul Kalam has been kept, and from here this will be taken to a place which is 3 kilometers away where the body of APJ Abdul Kalam will be buried. So that is going to happen in the next few hours from now. If I can ask my camera person to show you the crowd, scores of people have come from different parts of the country. In fact, there are a lot of people who have travelled all the way to get to see the son of the soil here. As you can see, the crowd, which actually it runs to at least 3 kilometers. The people are waiting, especially youngsters who are here because he had inspired a lot of youngsters. So that is one of the reasons that why most of them in this crowd are youngsters. If I can quickly go across to one youngster, he is here. You have come all the way from Madurai. So you said that Abdul Kalam inspired you. In what way?
He just motivated us in many ways. He said that the time you are enjoying is not the time you have wasted, because the time you are enjoying, when you look back those working days will not motivate you or express you. When you look back, he said that in one meeting, right? He said that when I look back those days, I worked hard in many times and many days, but it was not. I am quite successful. But the time I enjoyed was most awesome days of my life. He just says us to enjoy our life and just dream it. Just dream about your life. Just enjoy it and be motivated and just get success. That's what he said. So he has been a true inspiration, especially to youngsters. So that is one of the reasons that when we were passing through this crowd, we saw a lot of young children. In fact, they wouldn't have met him, but yes, he has inspired each and every youngster in this country. So this crowd is a testimony to that, Sudhir.
Absolutely. I mean, we can see those visuals that you're getting us live from Rameshwaram. You have been, of course, speaking, Shisha, to a lot of people there. In what way is his legacy going to be carried forward, especially in the place where he did his schooling, Rameshwaram? In what kind of a physical form will that legacy find itself? Shisha, if you could hear me, I was asking what kind of a physical form will the Tamil Nadu government or the government of India give to the memory of Dr. Kalam there in his hometown in Rameshwaram?
Well, Sudhir, the government of Tamil Nadu has allotted a land so that the tomb of the former president could be erected, and that tomb will be in Ramanathapuram. Remember, he did his schooling in Ramanathapuram, so even the school remembers him. So even they have made some arrangement. In fact, will be finalizing tomorrow on what exactly they could do in their school premises, and that is one of the oldest schools in Ramanathapuram where Kalam studied his high school, and from there he developed interest, as the concern and physics and everything. So when we were talking to the school authorities, they did tell us it's a proud moment for them that Abdul Kalam studied in the school, and the legacy will be carried forward so that people can take pride in saying that we come from the hometown of Abdul Kalam.
Right. Shisha Reddy will continue to track the story with you from Rameshwaram. Thanks a lot for joining us there on Up South. In fact, joining me now from Bengaluru is Geeta Aramudan, author and journalist. But today she is speaking in her capacity as someone who has known APJ Abdul Kalam since 1970. You knew him, ma'am, from his days in Tumba near Thiruvananthapuram, where your husband was also a scientist there. Now, how much did Dr. Kalam really change over the years since those days as a young man in Tumba near Thiruvananthapuram?
I think all of us change. I mean, you can't be forever 20. So At that time when I first knew him, I was in my 20s, he might have been in his 30s, because he was a bit older than my husband, but they were all belonged to the same bachelor group. For a long time we were, as long as he lived in Trivandrum, definitely we were all very close friends, and especially since he was a bachelor, he was a constant visitor to our house and all that. But after he left Trivandrum, we slowly kind of lost touch with him. We didn't have the same kind of bonding, but definitely he still used to, for instance, my husband, after VSSC, he went to Sriharikota and became the director of the launch station. And there Kalam used to come quite often, and he would invariably come home and, you know, ask for the same, you know, some specific food from my house he would like a lot, like this vattakorambu, which is a very particularly Tamil dish, and the way we made the potatoes or the dosha and all that, that he was very fond of. But it wasn't only food, it was just the old memories, and, you know, we used to have a lot of conversation on different things. So he had not changed, but his social circle had become very different.
Right, very interesting, ma'am. In your very extremely well-written post on him, you also mentioned about your unsuccessful efforts to find a bride for him. Why was Dr. Kalam reluctant to marry?
Yeah, I don't know how serious he was about it, but he would go along whenever we said that it was not just me and my family, all of his friends, all of them wanted to find a bride for him. And I remember the joke used to be, you know, Kalam came from Rameshwaram. So we used to say, you know, we'll hire a big bus and we'll all come to Rameshwaram for the wedding. So I mean, not thinking that where would the wedding be, it would probably have been in the bride's house, but we used to say we'll go to Rameshwaram for your wedding. And there was one time when one of our friends had found a nice girl whom they felt would be suitable for Kalam somewhere in Nagarkoil, I think. And Kalam did tell me, you know, I need somebody to go with me to see the girl, so will you come? So I got all prepared, and my husband and I got all prepared to go, and then, you know, 2 days before he said, no, I'm not going to go. So I think he got, you know, more and more involved with his work, and probably the idea of getting married didn't appeal to him, so he was married to his work, really. I mean, after some time.
Right, ma'am. You are telling us stories which not many people really know about, the unseen, the unheard side of Dr. Abdul Kalam. Do stay on with us, because we're also looking at this particular Sri Guruvayurappan temple, hotel in Thiruvananthapuram, which I believe Dr. Kalam used to frequent quite often for his breakfast. And my colleague spoke to the owner of the hotel, Parmeshwaran Nair, and in fact there are still those pictures of Dr. Abdul Kalam there on the walls of that particular hotel. Let's look at these shots and also listen to what Parmeshwaran Nair has to say about Dr. Abdul Kalam.
രാവിലെ ഒരു 7 മണിക്കൊക്കെ ISR വണ്ടി വരുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആഹാരം കഴിക്കാൻ എത്തും. രാവിലെ 2 അപ്പം 1 ഗ്ലാസ് പാല്. അത് പ്രത്യേകത എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ 21 കൊല്ലം അദ്ദേഹം ഇരുന്ന് ആഹാരം കഴിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. എപ്പോഴും പാസ്റ്റ. ഓടി വരും, കഴിക്കും, ഓടിപ്പോവും. അതങ്ങനെ. പിന്നെ ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് ഒരു മാസം 2-3 ദിവസം ഇവിടെ സംസ്ഥാനത്ത് തങ്ങുന്ന സമയം ഓടിക്കൊണ്ടുവരും. ഒരു പിള്ളേർ കുറച്ച് ചോറെടുക്കും, ശകലം രസം വയ്ക്കും, പെട്ടെന്നൊന്നും കൊണ്ട് കഴിച്ചിട്ട് അങ്ങ് പോവും. വേറെ കറികളോ ചോദിക്കുകയോ ഒന്നുമില്ല.
Right. Geeta ma'am, you heard about what Parmeshwaran Nair had to say about Dr. Kalam's visits to his hotel. You also in your post mentioned about Dr. Kalam's fondness for lime juice, which both of you refer to as bonji. It seemed to be quite a favorite with him. Was he also quite a foodie?
Yeah, really, food was something which bonded all of us. All of us love food, and, you know, it was something, and we're all vegetarians, and my husband, everybody in Israel calls him Dan, because they found the name Arwa Mudan very difficult to pronounce. So Kalam used to call him Buddy. because somebody in the US asked him, "Where's your buddy?" And so they all called each other Buddy and Dan and all. So Dan used to say that even in when they were in NASA, Kalam was a vegetarian, and so finding vegetarian food used to be difficult in those days. I'm talking of 1963, and people would be very scornful of vegetarians. So they had to go around looking for mashed potatoes and peas and things like that to eat. And they have a lot of food stories actually, Dan and Kalam. In Trivandrum, it is a small, it was a very small town, and Malayalis are basically non-vegetarian. So finding vegetarian food even in Trivandrum used to be difficult. So they used to go to the railway station, because railway station served Madras type of meals. Both of them were from Tamil Nadu. So they'd find Tamil Nadu meals in the railway station. So there's a big group of bachelors who used to go to the railway station, which was close to their lodge, and they would eat there. And sometimes they would walk along the main road, and they used to eat eggs. So Kalam particularly was very fond of mutta curry. So they used to have mutta curry and something, and then there was a place where they used to eat dosa. So food was a very binding factor for all these. I mean, as bachelors and young men, probably it was an important thing. And also another important thing was they didn't drink. So, finding entertainment in the evening used to be difficult. You don't drink and you don't have a club or any other place to go to. So that's how I wrote about this. They used to go around Trivandrum looking at up and down the roads. Whatever was the first film released in Trivandrum, all of them used to go. And when I got married, I also was part of the gang which used to go for the first day, first show release, because that's what we were waiting for, something to do.
Right, Geeta ma'am, thanks a lot for all these memories. It was a pleasure having you on Up South talking about Dr. Abdul Kalam. Time for a break on Up South. After the break, actor Vivek will be on the show to talk about Kalam sir. Welcome back. You're with Up South. It's not just the scientific community and students that Dr. Kalam connected to. He also connected to people from other walks of life. Among them, popular Tamil actor Vivek. My colleague Pratibha Raman is with me, who is talking to Vivek. So how did Vivek's mind really get ignited by Dr. Kalam's brilliance?
Well, true, Sudhir. I have with me an actor who not only tried spreading messages through his humorous tracks, but also a man who took up a valiant initiative based on Mr. Kalam's advice, took up this initiative of planting 10 lakh saplings across the state. Sir, it is indeed a very good initiative that you took. Could you tell us more about it?
I can talk about it, but now my feelings are very saddened, and with the demise of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, my mentor, country had lost a big patriotic citizen, big scientist, great speaker, and guide and philosopher, and personally a friend of mine. He has initiated me into tree planting in the year 2010. When I met him in Raj Bhavan, because whenever he comes over to Chennai, he sends for me and go and meet him. He used to tell what all I have done so far in films, what are the messages I am propagating through films. He used to ask, but he has seen film, seldom he sees films. So he asked me what is happening around. So that time in 2010, he said, Vivek sir, he always addressed me sir. That it all shows his greatness. So Vivek sir, why don't you propagate the importance of trees? I doctor, why should I say that? I don't know. Because trees only bring rain. And he educated me. He may be physically or bodily not present, but his soul will be always with me, will guide me, will support me, and I will easily reach 1 crore trees with all the support of the students and the younger generation and the spirit of him.
And all the best to you for that, sir. I'm sure we will be seeing his journey right through your journey through planting of those saplings. Back to you, Sudhir.
Right. Thank you very much, Pratibha Raman and Vivek there from Chennai. Now, India's former President Dr. Abdul Kalam was known to make full use of science and technology to benefit the common man. And what better example of that than the lightweight calipers for polio patients that he developed.
For 26-year-old Uma Rani, the passing away of Dr. Abdul Kalam has been a personal loss, for it was this low-weight caliper developed by the former president that helped polio patients like Uma walk comfortably. Instead of this traditional leather and metal calipers that weighed 4 kgs, Dr. Kalam introduced a technology that reduced the caliper's weight to 300 grams.
जो इन्वेंट करे थे इससे हमारी ज़िंदगी पूरी बदल गई. मेरी अकेले की नहीं, दूसरों की भी ज़िंदगी बदल गई. भगवान एक ज़िंदगी दिया बोले तो कलाम साहब एक ज़िंदगी दी है हमारे को. जब तक हमारे साथ चलते रहेंगे उनको तो हम याद रखेंगे.
The development of this low-weight caliper was done in collaboration with doctors at the Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad in the 90s. The material used in this caliper was the same composite material that was used to manufacture the nose cone of the Agni missile.
The material which is used to kill an enemy is used to save lives. This is a brilliant idea. This was a very novel idea at the time, and it really caught up the imagination of people.
Not only was it comfortable for the body, it was comfortable on the purse too. The old-style polio calipers cost about 4,000 rupees, but Kalam's calipers cost just 500 rupees. With T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report for India Today.